Fake Tapper and Ilhan Omar in an interview, and I'm going to show you exactly how I know that she is lying and very nervous about getting exposed for being in connection with that $1 billion that's been stolen in the state of Minnesota.
Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar of Minnesota is here with me now. First of all, federal prosecutors say 59 people have been investigated in these schemes so far. Americans at large stole tens of billions of forms of aid during the pandemic all over the country. Minnesota's fraud scandal stands out, according to federal auditors. What are you hearing from investigators right now?
Well, I've been following the cases closely as they've gone through the courts, and we know that there are more indictments possibly coming. I think that number might go up to 73 is what I'm hearing.
Okay.
So right off the bat, I know she's nervous and she's about to lie, trying to cover up because she is definitely connected to what is going on. Did you notice how she was breathing? First of all, the eyes kept jutting down. Second of all, her angle, looking at Fake Tapper, was turned and her head was tilted to the side, and then arms are in. And did you notice how she was breathing in, but the chest is tight and not fully exhaling completely? And then answering the question, did you notice how she kind of just tried to brush it off? Well, I think it's going to be 73, but let's get off of that really quick.
Can you shed any light on why the fraud got so out of control in Minnesota?
I think what happened is that, you know, when you have these kind of new programs that are designed to help people, you're oftentimes relying on third parties to be able to facilitate. And I just think that a lot of the COVID programs that were set up, they were set up so quickly that a lot of the guardrails did not get created.
How many times do you have to say and during an interview when you know you're not telling the truth and you're trying to cover up? That first with the crack in her voice was the ultimate tell. I know you're lying. I know you're covering something up. At best case, if you're not lying, you're trying to cover something up that is really bad, or cover up the fact that you're very embarrassed or shamed because you know that what went on was wrong. And then did you notice how she tried to throw it off on, well, you know, it's the government program's fault because, you know, it just didn't have the guardrails. And when you throw them together quick like that, you don't have the guardrails there to, you know, set it up right. Of course, you know, there'll be a lot of fraud. Never once did she say it was the fault of the people who were stealing. She's making the point that it's the fault of the folks who set up the program because they didn't make it bulletproof to theft. That's very interesting.
Now, obviously, whatever the ethnic group, the actions of a few dozen should not impugn an entire community of thousands of people. Okay, I want to make that very clear. President Trump has used this fraud to make rather to me, shockingly bigoted comments about Somalis in general, including you, but the entire Somali community in Minnesota. He did it yesterday and he did it again today. Let's run some of that.
What the hell was that? So how is this effective journalism when Fake Tapper just pretty much let her off the hook and basically said that she and all the Somalians were there okay because you can't impugn a whole group of people. So he's giving her this softball because he's setting her up to be able to shift the focus of this entire scam to something different. Watch what he says next.
These Somalians have taken billions of dollars out of our country. They've taken billions and billions of dollars. They have a representative, Ilhan Omar, who they say married her brother. She should be thrown the hell out of our country. And most of those people, they have destroyed Minnesota. She should not be, and her friends shouldn't be allowed. Frankly, they shouldn't even be allowed to be congresspeople, okay? They shouldn't even be allowed to be congresspeople because they don't represent the interests of our country.
It's pretty shocking to hear it, although I don't know how shocked you are at this point anymore. But Somali immigrants In general, you in particular have been the target of his attacks for a long time. What's your response?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not shocked because we know that the president oftentimes resorts to very bigoted, xenophobic, Islamophobic, racist rhetoric when he is trying to scapegoat and deflect from the actual failures that he has himself. We know that this administration has not fulfilled the majority of the promises that they've made, whether it is bringing costs down, whether it is the tariffs that are decimating businesses in the United States, whether it is the possible war crimes that his defense secretary is committing. And so to me, it is important for us, one, to remind folks that we are Americans. We're not going anywhere, and we will continue to be in this country. And two, that Minnesotans are resilient, and we will continue to thrive.
What the actual hell was that? So forget the $1 billion that was stolen. Forget the fact that the people that are doing this stealing come from the country that is well known for being pirates. You've seen all the videos of the Somali pirates out there, right? Yeah, so let's just shove that all off to the side and let's focus on the fact that Donald Trump used the fraud. Notice how he said the fraud. He kind of downplayed the fraud. He used that to make bigoted racial remarks. Oh, the outrage. So it's not an outrage that we just watched these Somalis steal $1 billion and funnel it to terrorist organizations back in their home country. No, that's not the worst part of it. It's the excuse to use this to make bigoted statements. So this is all about the fact that bigoted statements, racist statements, is the real insult. That's the real problem. It's not stealing. It's not funding terrorist groups. We've got to protect the people from racist and bigoted statements. How is it that everybody falls for this? How is it? And who is paying for all this? Who's the person that was behind this interview? Because this obviously is not news. It's not news at all. It's a spin story, and it's a bait and switch. So we're going to bait you by showing this interview where you think that fake Tapper is going to hold Ilhan Omar accountable for the fact that the $1 billion in the theft is coming from her community in Minnesota. And then they switch that where the actual story is bigoted statements and Orange Man bad is far worse than $1 billion stolen and sent to terrorist organizations. Is that not amazing? Let me know in the comments what you think about that. Are you as shocked and outraged as I am at how nobody seems to actually realize what just took place in that interview? Like, comment, subscribe, share this with some friends, post it on social media. I dare ya. That's all I got for this one. This is Carlton, and I'm out.